Hello and welcome to TCG Buzz. You guys loved it when we gave you guys a bunch of ideas in our Here's 100 Ideas for Games Steal Them episode. But something's been bugging me about that episode.
What's that, Jacob?
You know how we said 100?
Yeah, we lied.
Yeah, we lied. To be fair, in the episode, I did specifically say we're not actually counting. We're just going to go until we stop. And as it turns out, go until we stop meant 63. But that's been bugging me. That's been bugging me a lot that we didn't actually get to 100. So we found time after so much time has passed to do a part 2 and maybe get to 100. I don't know. We could have 3. I will say, last time we did this, I put like an on-screen counter and stuff, and I did all the work for that. And honestly, that was a pain in the ass, and I don't want to do it. So you can count along at home if you want to.
It's up to you. It's a game for the viewers at home to see if we actually hit 100 this time, counting the previous video, obviously. So, I wrote down a ton of ideas. I was inspired one day when I was at Spaceboat Games and just blasted out ideas. So I'm gonna get started. My first.
Hang on.
What do you mean, hang on?
Hang on. We got a couple of disclaimers we got to go through.
Ugh.
I know they're the same disclaimers as last time, but some people are going to watch this one and not watch that one, and they're going to type in the comments and go, ugh. So we're going to go over our disclaimers really quick. First of all, some of these game ideas might actually already exist. We're not checking. These are just things off our dome or written down. I did not write down any ideas. All of mine are coming off the top of the dome. So
Yep.
These are just ideas we're throwing out of the void. They might already exist. Also, some of these are stupid. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if most of these are stupid. It is your idea, as your job as a game designer, to sort through what's stupid and what's not and find what works for you. We are introducing these to you guys to inspire you to think creatively and come up with new ideas for games. Because if these two idiots can do it, so can you.
Exactly. I think the real winner from our last video was reverse life decking because it was so good that somebody joined Tabletop Aces and said, "Oh, I'm working on a game that has reverse life decking, and I got it from this video," and posts our video. And we're like, "Hey, wait a minute.
Is that a plug for Tabletop Aces? I see
That is
dangling in front of me like I'm a cat pawing at a toy.
it is a plug for Tabletop Aces, your game developer networking server."
Yeah, so if you want to make a game or if you're already making a game, chances are you're interested in tabletop game design. If you've clicked on this video, Tabletop Aces is the place you can go to get help to figure out how to actually do that. We've got tons of people in there who are helpful with feedback. We've got resources for you to list and like look at and learn from. We run regular playtest events, all that kind of stuff. It is a game designer's dream.
Absolutely.
And the link is, of course, in the description.
Now can I vomit my ideas?
Okay, yeah, but you're gonna have to give me some space in between because I'm brewing some stuff right now.
Okay. My first idea is an anti-trick taking game. So what the sort of idea here is like I'm thinking of a game where you know how in a lot of card games you want to like set up different combinations and then whoever has the best combinations wins and then you try to take, different things maybe from a shared pool, maybe from a deck, I don't know, whatever. Okay, opposite of that where you're trying to force your opponent to have like really bad things, to have the most of the bad things. All the cards are bad and all the combinations are bad and you're trying to somehow through the game mechanics force those onto your opponent. That I think would be cool.
So, like, there are some, like, Magic the Gathering commander decks that do that type of thing where you, like, give bad cards to your opponents that have downsides. And also, I think of, like, Slay the Spire and how, like, the boss enemies work, that they fill up your opponent's, the player's deck with just, like, crap. That kind of thing.
Yeah, that, but it's like straight up a win condition.
That's fun. That's
Yeah.
cool. How about this one? And this is one I actually do have prepared. This was an idea I thought of during our last episode, and then we got sidetracked, and I never actually said it. This is the one thing I've come to the table with. Well, I actually have one other I'm coming to the table with. I'll tell you about that one later. That's a like actual pitch for a game. Um, but this one, it's real simple. You know how back in the day when the website was cool, twitter.com was interesting for people because of the fact that you had a limited amount of characters?
Yeah.
I think that would be really creative for a TCG. One of the problems with TCGs, and actually, I missed a disclaimer earlier. Some of these will be for TCGs, some of them for board games, some of them for tabletop RPGs, some of them for video games. It doesn't matter. And you can easily convert any of these ideas to any of those other types of games. This one I'm presenting as a TCG, which is what if you had a TCG with a hard limit on the number of words on a card?
That
Or
I like that. That's
if you
cool.
don't like an arbitrary, yeah, my cards can only have 8 words on them, how about a creative way to do that? Possibly a flavorful way to do that. What if you had a TCG where every rules text box had to be written as a haiku?
That's sick. That's sick, actually. Oh, I love that.
That
Yeah.
is as far as that idea
No, that's
goes.
that's cool though. I love it when like restrictions breed creativity like that. That sounds fun. Um, I actually don't think I really wrote down anything quite like that. But my next idea is just something that I think would be fun. So you know Exodia?
I do know Exodia. He
You know,
obliterate. And
yeah,
also he obliterate.
he do. He obliterate, but most importantly, he obliterate. You know how you need to put 5 pieces together and you put those pieces together and it forms a man doing the splits? Okay, what if it was that and that was the main mechanic and it was a paper doll dress up game?
That's fun. Or
There you go.
I could see how that would work. So like you're assembling like a guy, left arm,
Yeah,
left leg, right arm, body,
yeah,
and this like those are your guys.
yeah,
If that was
yeah.
the you're saying turn Exodia instead of it being an instant win condition into the entire game.
Yeah. Exodia is just the entire game now, and the entire point of the game is that you're trying to, like, assemble the cutest outfit or whatever for Exodia.
That's cool. You
Yeah.
oh, like a fashion game.
Yeah, it's like
Hell
a
yeah.
fashion game, yeah. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
I think that'd be fun.
One thing I do when I'm scrambling for like, okay, what am I gonna talk about next? What's my next idea? Is I go into my mind palace and I say, what are things I like, right? And I was just spinning through the Rolodex of things that I like, and I came to Civilization. I love
Dude,
Civilization, right?
Civilization rules.
And one of my favorite parts of Civilization is pillaging,
Yeah,
where you
yeah,
go on your opponent's tiles and you just break them so they can't use them.
I like that.
And thinking about that mechanic made me think of shield breaks, right? Shield breaks, a system very common to TCGs. But what if
Yeah, it's kinda
that
like that.
was land cards? Essentially, what I'm saying is, what if we made a game that's Magic the Gathering lands, but the destroying your opponent's lands is like the entire point of the game?
So Luck and Logic.
Yes, but with like a lot of them.
Okay,
Not a
okay.
limited number like Shields or like Luck and
Yeah,
Logic's Gates. No,
um,
like you're playing Magic style land cards, but instead of land destruction being a rare thing that is done mostly by dicks, it is the
yeah.
core mechanic of the game, and you are trying to protect your resources more than anything else.
So
You
I
could
literally
even yeah.
Jacob, you son of a biscuit. I literally have that as one of my ideas on this list.
Oh, okay. Give me your pitch for that idea. Go.
So, my pitch for that idea was like lands as shields. And now that I'm talking about it, I've realized it's literally just runes of Ede. I'm describing runes of Ede. So I'm gonna never mind. It's just runes of Ede. Your idea and then runes of Ede. There you go.
Yeah, I think a game where you actively have to defend your resources
I
from
think it's
being
cool.
destroyed is really fun and interesting. And the way you make it
Alestrals,
not feel bad is by making that easy, making increasing your resources easy.
for sure.
You could even use a system where those resources get stronger the longer they've been protected.
Nice.
What's next?
Oh, yeah. So I just wrote down tactical breach. You know what's fun? 'cause I saw my dad playing this game called Tactical Breach Wizards, and it made me think of, like, some of the, like, Tom Clancy games and something where it's like you're trying to, like, break into one player's trying to, like, defend a
Yeah,
building, and
like
another
Siege.
player's trying
Yeah.
to, like, break into it. Yeah, yeah, I can't really think of, like, an asymmetrical, like, card game or board game like that, like, yeah, like, I think that would be fun. Like, a tactical breach board game? I don't know if that exists or not, but, that was an idea. I was like, "That could be fun. That's a fun
I've
thing."
in the past I've thought of an idea kind of like that where it's like a base building board game where one person's like building a castle out of tiles. Like I would do
Yeah.
like Tetris style tiles where you have to build like a castle, a fort, right? And then
Yeah.
the other player has to like try and breach it and get inside. I don't know how the logistics of that would work. If it would be
No,
like
that's fun.
turn based or something like that. But that was a fun idea. Not one I would directly make a game off of myself, but I'll cast it out into the void.
Yeah, but speaking of asymmetric games, I've got another one that I think would be fun, where one player is the human survivors and the other is the zombies. Kind of like an awful green things from outer space, but like with a zombie theme and not extremely broken, right? Because I've played some zombie survival board games like Dead of Winter before. Dead of Winter is great. If you haven't given Dead of Winter a shot, you absolutely should. It's one of my favorite board games, and I just don't talk about it enough. Yeah, I think it'd be fun if like one player was like actively controlling the zombies instead of effectively them being like quote unquote like computer controlled, not really computer controlled, but you know how it works in board games where it's like each
Mhm.
turn do XYZ and has like a little bit of a flow chart. You know what I mean? I think that'd be fun. That's a fun idea.
I think we said this in the previous one as well. I don't know. I haven't watched that in months. When
Yeah,
you
I don't
edit
know.
a video, you get so sick of it, you never want to see it again.
Yeah.
Um, but I think we also said then, there's not enough asymmetry in board games and TCGs, and we'd really love to see more of that.
Dude, the asymmetrical part is part of what makes Netrunners stand out so much, to be completely honest with you.
Keep going. Give me another one.
Let's see. What else do I have on my list? Oh, this one's fun. Hey Jacob, you know how you see all the time all these different like variations of chess that get made? And this, by the way, this is actually a suggestion less for a tabletop game and more for a video game. I think this would work better as a digital experience. But there's like super 3D battle chess where it's like in real time, and then there's like five-dimensional chess with interdimensional travel or whatever.
Yeah,
And you see all those wacky. Okay, that, but for Mancala, dude.
dude. Dude, what about just a Mancala roguelike?
That's right, but you see? Like, Mancala is such a classic board game that everybody knows and loves and just has
I
not been
love
tapped into.
Mancala.
Mancala is so freaking good, and people will do chess all the time. Chess is beaten to death. Like, if you wanna make a video game like that, I never wanna see you touch chess again. Indie devs, never touch chess again. I wanna see you mess with shogi. I wanna see you mess with Mancala. I wanna see you mess with,
Backgammon.
backgammon. I wanna see you mess with,
Is that
uh
it?
yeah.
Yeah,
L
like, go nuts.
yeah, but,
Like,
like,
there's so
some
many cool classic dude, imagine Shoots and Ladders, but it's a
bro.
survival horror game.
Bro, I would play the shit out of that. That sounds awesome. I wanna play
Like,
Shoots and Ladders.
multiplayer,
Yeah.
online obviously, this is, like, video game shit, right? But, multiplayer online experience like Among Us or, like, Phantasmophobia or, like, shit like that, and it's just Shoots and Ladders, but it's a horror game, and your interaction is, like, setting down new ladders and chutes to screw over your opponents.
And it's like, and instead of it being like a 2D board, it's like a 3D maze where, like, you're in the maze. And, like, as you go through, like, you build out your map, but your map doesn't update when somebody, like, moves the ladder. It's like a real time, if you see it, it updates, you know what I mean? That could be so freaking cool and disorienting and haunting and fun. Oh god, I want somebody to make that game so bad. That's awesome.
What else you
That's an
got?
awesome idea. All I wrote down, I don't know what I was going with this one, but I think I could kind of bullshit my way through it, is I just wrote down Poker Hustlers. Like, this
Uh,
kind of
ok
plays
okay.
off of I don't know, this kinda plays off of the other idea of, like, doing twists on classic games. But, like, I think it would be fun to have a version of poker where it's like a hidden role game, and your hidden role gives you some kind of superpower that you can cheat with, legally by the game. Like, there's some, like, cheat you have access to that you're allowed to do, but it's secret. And so you wanna, like, keep your cheating secret from everybody else at the table, but if somebody catches you, they can say, "Hey, you're cheating. I call bullshit." And then you can flip up your hidden role and say, "No, no, no. As you can see, according to my hidden role, I can cheat like this." And then they get, like, punched in the nuts or something. But you can, like, pretend that your hidden role is a different cheat power. And you can, like, cheat that way, and then if somebody catches you and they call bullshit on you, now you're in trouble, right?
I think what you're actually doing, and you haven't realized it yet.
I just made coup, didn't I?
No, no, no. What I was gonna say is you are pitching a new variant of Uno.
Yeah! Yeah, dude, actually?
Dude, Uno
Bro,
Nut Punch edition is gonna go so hard.
dude, I cannot wait for Hasbro no, Mattel, they're owned by Mattel, I cannot wait. I'm not even kidding. If I saw a box on at freaking Walmart that was Uno Nut Punch Edition, I'm not thinking twice. I'm buying that. I'm
Uno
buying that,
Cock
dude.
and Ball Torture edition.
Uno BDSM variant.
Boy,
Woo! I'm buying that. I'm buying that all day.
if it was Cock and Ball Torture, would it be Uno or would it be Dos?
It would almost
Anyways, I have an actually serious one for you.
Okay,
One
okay,
of the things
okay.
I've often thought about is how can card games make people's lives better? Because we know there are a lot of great ways. They're educational for kids. I learned math skills from desperately trying and failing to play Yu-Gi-Oh, right?
Oh god, yeah.
They're socially great for us. I would not be sitting here talking to you if it weren't for card games, and you're my best friend,
Oh yeah.
right?
Oh yeah.
There are so many different ways. I've got a new one.
Hit me.
Right on. I need to admit something. I'm fat.
Yeah.
So I want a TCG where every time I want to play my resources, I have to do sit-ups.
I'm into it.
I want
That's cool.
We Fit as a trading card game. Like your different
Yeah.
types of cards, your spells versus your creatures or whatever, each one would require like a different set of exercises at different amounts. You have to do
So
more
cool.
push-ups if you want the really big creature. But if you want a nice small little creature, you only got to do 2 push-ups, right?
Unironically really like where you're going with this. I feel like that would work as like a goofy ECG. You know how MetaZoo had the fourth wall mechanics? This
Mhm.
feels like that, but not awful and stupid.
Yeah, and there's an actual like, I'm someone who like I said, I'm not joking. I'm overweight, right?
Yeah.
I'm not talking I need to be wheeled around places, but I'm a little chubby, right? And I
Yeah.
could lose some weight, but it's hard to exercise. I
It
don't think I
is.
have to tell anyone on this planet that it's hard to routinely exercise. So novel, interesting ways that you can get exercise in are great. Look at how much people enjoyed Ring Fit Adventure,
Well,
right?
and I can actually speak on this a little bit because my entire family outside of me is actually health industry professionals. And my mother is a certified personal trainer. And what she always tells everybody is the best exercise is whatever you will do. That's it. Whatever, like, you're never going to do exercise if it feels like a chore or a job. But whenever you can find some form of exercise that you think is fun that you want to do, you will do it and you will be exercising and you will immediately improve your life. And that is a fact. And so I am so on board with this. I might steal this idea. That might be a Speedrobo Games title.
I
I
was just gonna say,
really love it.
your mom's been involved with this company for years,
That is
from the
so good.
very beginning. Maybe it's time for her to step up and be director of a game.
I'm literally writing this down right now. Like, unironically, I am writing this down right now.
While you're doing that, let me see if I've got any others. Again, things I just like often become ideas, right? And here's one. I'd like to pitch a video game, a card game or board game right now based off of just here's a YouTube channel I've been watching a lot,
Yeah.
and they'd make a fun board game, and that is a channel called Business Cringe.
Oh, dude, I love Business Cringe.
Dude,
Shout out
imagine
to
a
Business Cringe.
business cringe themed board game where it's like you just trying to survive in big corp. And, you've got other coworkers to deal with and, random quarterly events. And your entire goal isn't to win or climb the corporate ladder. No, no,
To
no. It's
survive.
just to not get laid off.
Yeah, exactly. No, I love that. What if we just out of the blue DM Business Cringe a collab link, no context?
No, but we're going to put this episode out and everyone else is going to do that.
Huh? Dude, Business Cringe is cool. Big shout out. Love his channel, love his content. Super funny, dude. My turn. I think that this is a cool idea. I'm a shooter for this idea. Okay. I would love to see a board game where it's a kaiju defense game, and this could even be a solo game. Okay. You're playing as like an Ultraman style superhero, right? Like you're a big guy and you punch the kaiju, right? But the twist is it is focused on doing as little collateral damage to the city as possible. So a big part of how you play the game is as the superhero, you have to carefully manage, fighting off the kaiju and how to get to the kaiju most efficiently while also like not knocking over buildings yourself, not stepping on a car park and crushing, your boss's Ferrari or whatever, right? Like these are things that you have to take into context and you have to like and it's basically like a sort of like time management, resource management game on the superheroes end where they have to like do like quick cost benefit analysis of like, what is the cost of me getting to that kaiju and stopping him from, sitting on the train station versus just letting him sit on the train station, right? Like, what's going to deal the most damage to the city and figure that out from there. You know what I mean? Like, I think that would be really, really interesting.
Yeah, that's a cool one. Allow me to bounce off of that
Yeah.
with a completely different idea using the exact same theme.
Okay.
Okay. What if, and this is also taking from the very first thing you pitched here today, what if there was a 5 or 4 player board game where you're all playing parts of a Voltron,
That's
but the
fun.
entire gameplay is, actually piloting a Voltron is really hard. So all your like cards and stuff are like trying desperately to like sync up with your partners, and like left foot has to move and then right foot has to move and then like left arm has to pull out the sword,
Oh,
uh
yeah, yeah, yeah. So it's
like
like a
imagine like
group. It's like a
cooperative quap.
I was gonna be like cooperative Robo Rally, right? Where it's like a programming game where you have to like outline your program and your moves ahead of time. But like with 5 people, that is gonna be so funny so quickly because it's gonna be like, all right, right arm, grab the sword, and it like grabs the Robo Dick instead. That's gonna be great. I want to play that. I would play that all day.
Because like the shows always make it so easy. Like usually you'll get like one little bit where it's like, whoa, it's kind of hard for us to all move at the same time. And then it's like, no, we got it. We're just like dancing around and pirouetting together in perfect sync and harmony.
Um, no, absolutely. Sorry, I got brain blasted by something, but I do have a new game idea.
Okay.
All right. So this is another one that I came up with, and I think this one's fire. It's a wizard game, but where everybody's a wizard, but it's a secret betrayer wizard game. So one of the players can't actually cast any spells. They aren't actually a real magical wizard. They're a stage magician. And
That's so fun.
it's all about, can the stage magician trick all of the actual wizards at the fucking wizard conference into believing that they're a real ass wizard, right? And it's all the other wizards being like, I think that wizard's the stage magician. And he's really just like, but I just summoned this Eye of Newts from beyond the veil. I'm a real wizard. And then the stage magician's just like does some sleight of hand and is like, oh, my Eye of Newt.
That's funny. I've got one really big one to pitch, which is the idea I came to the table with before. Uh, I will save it for when we're out of ideas, and I am out of ideas other than that for the second. So you need to feed me something.
I need to feed you something.
Yeah, feed me. Feed
All
me,
right,
please.
all right, all right.
I'm
So,
so hungry.
okay, I've realized that when I was writing these, all right, I was on a secret betrayer kick, okay? I love me some
Okay.
secret betrayer games. I love Secret Hitler, okay? So my next idea is, what if it's One Night Werewolf, but there's no werewolf at all? It's either somebody who just wants to murder people and has tricked everyone into thinking there is a monster, or it's just a straight up Scooby-Doo situation. Right? Like, I think the first one's really funny because it's just like, okay, so it's all like there's this setup where it's like there has to be a monster killing people, and it's like, nah, it's just Jeff. Nah, he just likes killing people. Like, that's it. But I also think like a Scooby-Doo situation where it's you have like 2 layers to the game where it's like first you have to figure out who is the monster and like where people are going, and then you have to like figure out how the monster is actually not a monster, right? Like I think that could be really cool to have like a double.
Or I guess the extra step would be, even if you figure out who the werewolf is, then you have to catch them.
Right, exactly.
You got to set up
Exactly.
some elaborate traps,
Yeah, I think that could be
just like
fun.
Fred does. Fred loves traps.
Dude, who doesn't love traps? Dude, that's one of my favorite clips of all time.
It is.
It's Traps Illustrated. Freddy. I read it for the article. Dude, Freddy loves his
uh,
traps, bro. I get it. Respect, man. Respect on that.
you ever just like have a idea formulating in your brain, right? And
Yeah.
then you're like, oh wait, that's not only a game that already exists, it's one of our games. I was just like, what if you had a Scooby Doo game where you like made the monster up by like putting different parts of monsters together? And I'm like, oh wait, that's Necromancers.
That's
That's
literally
literally
just
that's
necromancers.
that's literally just a game we already sell.
That is true. That is true. I mean, I guess kind of with the Exodia idea, right? Like, I mean, at the end of the day, what's the difference between that and Necromancers, I guess? Dude, Necromancers is such a good game. If what would I do if what would I do to put like a twist on Necromancers? If I was like Necromancers but with a twist, what would I do? It's so hard because that game's already so good, man. Yeah, I don't know. I don't even know. No notes. Caleb just kind of knocked that one out of the park.
Shut up.
Um,
I want a bartending board game real bad.
I could go for a
One of my
bartending board game.
favorite video games of all time is Valhalla.
Nice.
Which is
Nice.
a bartending board game. It's super dialogue heavy, which is, the point of the game. But like, imagine if you, the person playing the board game, has to mix drinks for the other players who are, who have like particular needs and wants for their drinks or whatever. You know what I'm getting at.
Yeah, I like that. I like that. That's fun. My next idea is like, you know how there's like board games? There's lots of different board games where the goal is to just win a race, right? It's get from point A to point B. Okay, what if the first one who crossed the finish line loses? It's an anti-race game. And so like you're always, I don't know what the theme would be, but it's like you're always accelerating and you're always moving faster and faster and faster, and you have to find ways to like slow yourself down. That's it. That was that idea. That one's not good. That one sucks, actually.
That's all right. They're not all 10 out of
They're
10.
they're
Sometimes
not
we
all
need
gonna
some
be winners.
fives.
They're just not all gonna be winners. I'm gonna be real. Um, this one's also kinda jank, but I want you to sort of hear me out. I really liked how Legendary did their villain deck, where it's like on that conveyor belt. That's always been so cool to me. So, and you know how like the location system TCG with different lanes where your different cards like go to the lane and then they like compete over the points on the lane. What if you just combine the two, right? What if the locations like moved down a conveyor belt and you still had dedicated lanes, but it means that every turn the lane is going to be competing for something different, right? Because one thing that I always thought was kind of boring in location system games is a lot of times that your cards either just kind of sit there and just fight over the same thing, or you just win that location and then the location goes away, and then you've got like your goober sitting there and it's just empty now, and it's like that's lame. That's boring. I don't like that. Conveyor belt it, and I think that would be pretty spicy.
I got one for you.
Yeah, hit me.
Okay. Trading card games exist.
Unfortunately.
Okay. Places to buy and sell trading card games exist.
Also, unfortunately.
You own one of those places, don't you?
Yes! That's why I
Okay.
can say that.
And we discovered with the release of TCG Card Shop Simulator
Hell yeah.
that people would enjoy that experience turned into a game, right? By the way, we're in that game. Can you believe that? Isn't that
Dude,
fucking
I know. Every
crazy?
time it's like it's never felt real. It's so surreal that it's like I'm playing TCG Card Shop Sim, and then it's just like, oh yeah, that's just a box of Mafia Works.
Yep.
Okay, sure.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Shout outs to OP Neon. And I've had nothing but good interactions with that guy. So
But what I'm thinking is we gotta take it a step further. I want some blank the movie the game here.
yes.
What if we turn something like a TCG Card Shop Simulator back into a TCG, where it is a metatextual TCG, where you are a game store owner competing against the game store across the block to
It's
get the
fun.
customers?
I could see that working. Another twist on this is, are you familiar with Millennium Blades?
No, absolutely. I
Yeah.
don't want to go in that direction.
No, okay. Well, I was just gonna
No,
say,
I
like,
want specifically metatextually a TCG about
okay,
buying and
okay.
selling
I'm picking up what you're putting
stonks
down.
TCGs.
I'm picking up what you're putting down. I'm picking up what you're putting down. I was just saying, like, you could
I
like
want. Why are there
Millennium Blades
two
of a story.
Starbucks on the same street corner competing with each other?
Right?
The TCG game.
Dude, okay. Total side tangent, but like we got a Starbucks. We've had a Starbucks for a while. And then a Dunkin' Donuts opened up, which like fine, they have like donuts, I guess, that's slightly different. But then a 7 Brew opened up, and they're all right next to each other. I'm not even kidding. And my town is a cornfield. Dude, what are we doing? It is insane. It is a huge problem. I don't understand why this is happening. But if we're talking like meta contextual stuff, I've got one. You know those recaptchas?
Yes.
I'm not a robot.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm not a robot. The board game
Okay.
where
Okay.
it's just you completing captchas.
There is like an online website to do that kind of thing, which is probably better, right?
I guess, yeah. I don't
But
know
it
how
would be.
well it would work.
I am always charmed by like taking a completely digital only experience and making it physical.
Yeah. No, I'm with you.
Just like I've always wanted to see what it would be like if you could design a board game based on like the UI of Windows 95, where you have to like actually go through like physical start menus and shit. But that's as far as the idea gets. I don't know what you'd be accomplishing. Oh wait, I got it.
Okay.
What if there is a Windows 95 aesthetic themed board game where it's all about you trying to stop your computer getting infected with Windows 95 viruses?
Oh, that could be fun. That could be a lot of fun. Don't blue screen. Yeah, I could see that. I could see that. But hear me out. Hear me out. The game ends when the blue screen card is drawn. So the answer is that you can never stop your computer from getting blue screen. It's going to happen. But the loser is whoever has the most viruses installed when it happens.
How many instant messages can you get off on Yahoo?
I can get off on a lot of instant messages.
Okay, that's a statement. Don't clip that.
Duh. Hey, listen, Jacob, I know for a fact that's gonna be a short, okay? Don't even try to pretend that you're not turning this into a YouTube short. I mean, I know what I'm doing. I know what my role in this dynamic in this episode is, okay? I understand. It's for the bit.
Sure
Um,
it is, buddy. Sure it is.
but going back to an earlier bit, I was talking about, like, make old classic board games sick and, like, do hype versions of them. And we were talking about them, like, digitally earlier. This is one that I think you could do physically. You remember the old game Pickup Sticks?
Yeah.
Okay, make it
I
sick.
I don't like where this is going. But
That's it. That's the
that
entire
sucks.
pitch.
I'm going to tell you, that one sucks.
No, this one's a
I've got a
banger.
better one. Let me show you how it's done. You
All
ready?
right. All
You remember
right.
how we were talking about how fucking cool Mancala is?
Yeah.
Okay, you take a Mancala board and you along the horizontal axis, you cut it in half. So it's only your side of the Mancala board, okay?
Okay.
Are you following me?
I'm following.
That's your resource for paying for cards in a TCG. You've got 6
Okay.
beads in 6 different slots, right?
Okay.
And
Okay.
you can only pay for your creature's cost from one slot at a time. So if you want to play something with a 3, you grab from one that has 3 or more in it, but that slot now is less useful to you.
That's sick. That's sick. Or you could do it like you can only pay for that creature's cost if you can, like, make it from that pocket into the, like, big pocket at the end, right?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
yeah, yeah. Okay.
Let's get
Okay.
funky with it, guys. Come on. Not every idea's been done. Do some weird shit.
I'm so
I want
there for
Mancala
it.
the TCG now. Someone do that.
Dude, I'm so into that. That's a fire idea.
Take board games, take things you remember from your childhood, and they're turning them into resource systems. Everything's a resource system. Paying your rent's a resource system. It's all resource systems. Always has been.
Doing push-ups is a resource system. So, like, I love the Mancala idea. That's not what I'm gonna take. I am taking the exercise ECG though. I am taking that one. I'm calling dibs. But, like, the Mancala one, yeah, dude. Okay, okay. So I got another one. I think it was Capcom did a digital card game a while ago called Teppen. Right? Do you remember Teppen at all?
I do. I never played it, but I all of my friends were super into it for like 2.5 weeks.
So I've never played it either, but I've heard of it. And as I recall, its shtick is that it's like in real time, kind of, right?
Yeah.
So you know how board gamers have those little hourglass.
Yes.
Do a TCG, that little hourglass is your resource system. It's like your real-time battle gauge in Final Fantasy. There you go. That's another one. That would almost certainly suck dick in physical, but you could do it.
I want to use my card for my big pitch now.
All right, hit me with the big one.
Okay? My big pitch is, did you know Pokemon exists?
Unfortunately, yeah.
So, did you know there are a lot of games that like want to be Pokemon?
What? No.
And they all piss me off.
Yeah, I feel
Do you
ya.
want to know why? There's a very specific reason.
Why is that?
It's because the thing they're emulating, the thing they're copying, is the Pokemon trading card game.
True. True.
And not just in aesthetics, but in gameplay. Or they're doing something like Illustrals does, where it's like, yeah, we're Pokemon aesthetic, but we're Yu-Gi-Oh, right? When all I want is for one of these guys to turn VGC competitive Pokemon into
Dude.
a TCG.
Dude, I feel you so hard on that. I will say I have actually played a game recently that kind of comes close to that, where it's like Pokemon double battles, and your cards are the moves that your Pokemon can do, and they have HP, and the goal is to knock out both of your opponent's Pokemon. That's kind of what you're looking for, right?
I've seen some systems attempt it, but what I'm saying is I have the sauce.
You have the sauce. Okay, because I was
have
going to
the in-
recommend.
So to give you context, this is an idea that I have that's like actually sitting in my notes, and is like this is a idea I could turn into an entire game. I'm just not going to, because
Yeah,
I don't have the time, so I'm
I feel
casting
you.
it out into the void instead. The
Absolutely.
secret to Pokemon VGC, there's a lot of moving parts in it, but I want to stress VGC is the best competitive game that has ever existed. Don't at me. Okay?
I'm
It
going
is
to at you,
complex,
but
it is
okay.
rich, it is complicated in all the right ways, while still being, especially nowadays with things like Pokemon Champions and it being on a huge rise, being accessible and understandable. I think it's one of the greatest esports to ever exist. I think it's one of the best games to ever exist, separate from the rest of Pokemon. I love VGC, and there is no way to get that experience physically. And the big thing that is missing from any of these types of games is what is one of the most fundamental parts of VGC, which is priority and turn order.
Absolutely.
So the system I have is there are 10 spots on a board laid out in a 2x5 grid. Each side marked +2, +1, 0, -1, -2. These are your speed tiers. And each
Okay.
turn, you take your 2 active battling creatures, who each have 3 or 4 different attacks, and you must place them physically into the speed tier the attack they are currently using represents. And then, after all have been placed, turn goes literally in order. Starting at the
Like it.
top with your +2s into your +1s into zeros, it is the same system as VGC while being simplified. You can also simplify the type chart into even just like a simple rock, paper, scissors system, right?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
what you're looking for, you need a lot of different creatures and cards with multiple different attacks with different effects that have different priority states with different strengths and weaknesses. That's what VGC is, and there's no game on the market that truly does that.
I agree. I love your idea for the priority system. I do want to give a shout out to one of the homies, because some of what you're looking for with that is actually how Neocatix plays. So, like, Neocatix does have that very, like, Pokemon double battles feel, and that's why I really liked it. I've played Neocatix, I enjoyed it. It is worth checking out. Um, I love your
Someone
idea.
take that and make $1 billion.
Yeah, oh, it'll sell. That's a winner of a game idea. But I have an equally good game idea, and I say this in no sarcasm whatsoever. Deadliest Animals, and the game is you play as a different animal and see who can kill the most humans. And we're talking like famous animals that just mow down people in droves. We're talking sharks. We're talking hippos. We're talking cows, okay? That is the
I
game.
want to be a Pomeranian just like Tokyo Jungle.
There you go. There you go. See, like there's a lot of that. You could be a brain-eating amoeba, right? You could go big, you can go small. I think that'd be a fun game.
That's fun. Here's another one for you. I think it's important sometimes when you're designing games to take inspiration from things going on in your own life. And recently, the area I live in like suffered really, really, really severe flooding, like apocalyptic flooding.
I
That
saw.
just kind
It
of
was bad.
happened in the background. And I thought it'd be really cool if there was like a board game, and again, maybe this exists, but it's a board game where there's a rising water level, and it's a cooperative game of players working together to save the entire community.
Oh, that does sound fun. I like that. I like
Yeah,
that idea.
something positive and showing like, hey, people who work together are cool.
There
You
was a
know?
there was a board game I used to play as a kid called Save the Whales, where it
Yeah.
was a co-op board game. That was a cool game. And it was a co-op game where it was educational too, but it was a lot of fun where it's like, okay, yeah, the goal of the game is we all work together to save as many whales as possible, and whales over time would gradually go on, like, the, like, endangered list to critically endangered to just straight up extinct, and
Wow.
everybody lost when you hit a certain number of extinct whales. It was a cool game. I
That
loved
sounds cool and like kind of dark for kids in a good
it
way,
was,
as a
it
learning
was.
experience.
It was really, like, educational of like, "Oh shit, this is a problem, and we better get our asses together." Um, I have a game going through my list. I think this is one of my coolest, like, and most thought out mechanical ideas that I'm gonna pitch. This is one of my cool ones. So, a comic book superhero game where each of you are either playing as a different superhero or maybe one of you is the superhero and supervillain. And it is 1v1, okay? But you start off by each of you playing panels that are backgrounds and scenes. And then each player places, and you can do this with like tiles for the panels and then clear acrylic shapes for everything else. And so then you'll place your hero pieces, your character pieces on those tiles, and then you each have different speech bubbles or like action, hits to put in. And the goal of the game is to like sort of stack on top of what your opponent's doing and anticipate where they want their characters to be and how they want their characters to be and how they want the story to unfold. And the goal at the end of the game is to finish that comic book page where the story ends where your character wins.
That is fun.
That
That
is
is
my
fun.
that is my pitch. I think that's got some meat to it. That's got some legs.
All right, I've got one for you.
Hit
And
me. Hit
this
me.
this comes from me doing random research and discovering something existed. Did you know that in the year 2009, a kind of TCG, kind of like board game, kind of like toy was released? It's kind of a TCG. It is like 70% of the way to a TCG, okay?
Okay.
It has
Okay.
booster packs.
Okay.
Uh,
Okay.
okay. Was released by Little Tykes.
What?
Yeah, they released there's very little about this online. Go watch our episode about game preservation. That's actually where me learning about this came from that same Wikipedia list. Yeah, so I found out I was just scrolling through that list and I just saw Little Tykes on the list. I'm like, what the hell? Turns out they made this game called Number Busters. It was for kids to like learn numbers through playing. It was like specifically a trading card game advertised for like 6 to like 10-year-old boys with
That's
extremely
wild.
simple math and extremely simple. And I'm like, why don't we have that?
Yo, I'm looking at it like right now and it came with like toys too? They were like little
Yeah, it was like
figures?
a whole thing. It's like kind of like
Dude.
a Dice Masters style thing where you get like a little, or not Dice Masters. What's the one I'm thinking of? Where you get a little figure and you get a card to go with them.
Oh,
Um,
God, I can think of a couple different toys that were like that.
God, I'm
Uh,
blanking on the name real bad right now, but yeah. So it like I was just like, wow, that's such a better idea now than it was then because
yeah.
the people who grew up playing and loving trading card games are parents now.
Oh, don't I know it? Don't I know it, dude?
Like having a game you can play and teach to your children is really important. I've seen so many people, our age. I don't have kids and neither do you, but like
No, but I
most of
mean,
our friends do, right?
yeah,
And like getting your kids into games is hard.
it is hard, and most of my clientele have kids, and some of them are lucky and their kids are, like, prodigy super geniuses and can play Yu-Gi-Oh! With them, but that's not the case for most of them. Dude, I'm looking at Number Busters right now. If this came out today, I will tell you this flat out, I would stock it at my store. This rules, and the art's great, and the toys look cool. You better believe I would stock this.
But releasing that in a time period where Most parents were anti-TCG at that time period.
When did this come out?
2009. And that's the other
Yeah.
thing I was about to get. Also, it was 2009? I
Dude.
don't think there's a single year worse for releasing a TCG in all of history. You'd have better luck launching a TCG during the Justinian Plague than you would have launching a TCG in 2009.
Dude, there were 2 major crashes in our industry. One was after the, like, gold rush, you know, post-Magic pumps where everybody was pumping out a TCG.
Yeah, like 96, 97, right?
96, 97 was the first crash. 2008 was the bubonic plague, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this was never gonna go anywhere, man. Oh, that's a shame.
I really like that one because I got to pitch a game and give a history lesson.
Man, that was a good one. I love that one.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
I am out of ideas right now.
So I can blast through the rest of mine. So this is one that I'm gonna get some hate for, and I want everybody who loves and defends the game that I'm about to like poop on from orbit to just type in the comments, "Not today, honey." All right, that's what I want you to put down there. Not today, honey. What if Disney Villainous didn't suck? Just the worst. What if Disney Villainous was actually a fun game? Okay? I love Disney Villainous. I want to get out there that I think Disney Villainous is great. And the reason why I'm so harsh on it is because I love it. But Disney Villainous, gameplay-wise, is fucking terrible. It is not a fun game. It is not well balanced. It is not well thought out. All the mechanics suck. The vibes that you get from Villainous are perfect, okay? You feel like you're a Disney villain, and it feels like freaking Disney Smash Bros, dude. I popped off when I saw Radigan was getting an expansion, okay? I popped off, and they do a great job of picking, like, modern Disney villains, Renaissance Disney villains, and classic Disney villains, okay? The spread is immaculate. They put Prince John in the base set, dude. Who does that? Based Disney fans is who does that, okay? And I freaking love that. The problem is that it's not fun. And, like, there's no player interaction aside from, like, you're going to take a card from your hero deck. Slight problem with that, jackass. Half of the villains like it when stuff comes out of their hero deck. And to get crass, my friends, when we all play Disney Villains, because we do it a lot, and the backs of those cards is white, we call, like, hitting the hero deck jerking them off. So somebody's just like, jerk me off. I'm going to jerk you off. Yep, give me my hero deck. Oh, it's actually good for me. Great. Well, then I guess I didn't slow you down at all. I just forwarded your win condition, especially Captain Hook. Captain Hook's win condition, murder Peter Pan. Guess what's going to happen when the first card that gets flipped up out of his villain deck is Peter Pan? The dude wins. The game's over. Great. Thanks. I hate it. So just have all of the same aesthetics and vibes of Disney Villainous, both gameplay that's good. That's my pitch.
You know, I had nothing to say on that because I've never played Disney Villainous, but that gave me time to think, and I've got one. Disney.
Yeah.
Now, this is scary. What if you did a parody game of Disney? I see the Disney lawyers are off to the side. I see them. I'm acknowledging them. I'm shooing them away. Okay? Where it's a game where you're going to a quote-unquote magical theme park that is in no relations to the Walt Disney Company. And your whole goal in the game is to spend time and get on as many rides as you can without losing your money or standing in long lines and having to sign up for Genie Pass Plus Premium, Extra Golden Magical Castle Edition Fast Pass, Disney DVD Fast Play.
Ugh. Yeah. Yeah. That gives me shivers just thinking about it. I'd play that game, though. That sounds good. I think that's something in the back of my mind makes me think like that might already be a game. I don't know.
Maybe it is.
Maybe it is. But speaking of games that already exist, and speaking of classic games, because apparently that's my theme today, have you ever played the game Patoli? It is...
No, I have not.
So it is one of the oldest board games on planet Earth, and as far as I know, it invented the event space. You know how sometimes in a board game you'll land on a space and it will do something, right?
Mm-hmm.
The very famous mechanic. Patoli, I'm pretty sure, invented that. And it's a pretty sick game. I actually know the rules. I have a custom-made Patoli board. But here's the one piece of Patoli that I think people should pick up and do more with. It's how they handle dice. Because the Aztecs didn't have dice. So what did they do to roll and see how far you moved? They took kidney beans and they would paint a white dot on one side. So it was basically like flipping a coin. And what they would do is they'd take the beans, they'd shake them, they'd throw them. And it was like it was like 6, 7 beans that they would do that with.
How many beans?
6, 7.
Okay, just checking.
Yeah. And depending on how many dots you got, that's how far you'd move. That's like everybody just uses dice. Everybody just defaults to dice, but there's so many other ways to like randomize movement in a similar way that you can do. And that's a cool one that I think could get used more.
Shout out to my boy, the Game of Life spinner, going clack, 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 clack.
Dude, I'm gonna be honest, the Game of Life spinner is pretty freaking sweet. It's pretty sweet. More spinners. Listen, I'm gonna get hate for that too, okay? I'm gonna get hate for that. But more spinners. More spinners.
Do you have one more to finish us off? I think we have far exceeded hitting our 100 goal.
I have 8 more, so I'm gonna
Oh
blast
my
through
god!
them.
All right, can you
right.
rapid fire?
I'm gonna rapid fire. Court Jester. See how close you can get to insulting the king before he kills you.
I'm gonna give you a rating from 1 out of 10 for each idea.
Okay,
That's a 7.
nice. Pokemon Snap, but it's cryptids and a board game.
That's a 9.
Do more of those foldable cards from Duel Masters.
That's a 2.
I agree. Position-based TCG, but it's dominoes.
I had to think about that. That's a 6.
Hell, I'm feeling a 6.
And we don't like position-based TCGs, so that's high praise.
That is high
Go.
praise. A creature basher game, but all the creatures are mercenary forces from Carthage. Instead of killing them, you can bribe them to join your side.
Hell yeah. I like that. That's an 8.
All cards are free to play, but to untap them, you have to pay a resource. Moving costs resource, using effects cost resources, etc. I just described Cardfight Vanguard. Moving on.
That gets a 5.
That gets a 5. Cardfight Vanguard does get a 5. I feel like that's fair at this point. Duel Masters Cobalt had this, it was a video game, Duel Masters video game, had this sick mechanic called the signature card. When you were at 0 shields, instead of normal drawing for your turn, you could press the select button and it would play an animation and you would just like automatically summon your boss monster or whatever, or you would just like draw it to your hand. That's just Commander. Never mind. Lands is shield.
You were kind of cooking there. I'll give that a 6.
Okay. So lands is shields, but different this time. But it's not different, but it's kind of the same idea. So you know how your creatures always go in front of your lands? In every game that has like lands, it's always the lands are behind the creatures, right? Okay, flip that. So now your lands are in front of your creatures. And if you like, and it's got columns, like in Yu-Gi-Oh, right? So if you put one of your creatures behind one of your lands, your opponent has to punch through the land before they can kill your creature.
You know what that makes me think of? Sorry to
Yeah.
interrupt our lightning round, but that makes me think of Space Invaders.
Yeah. Yo, yeah,
Imagine-
yes.
Flip that in reverse. What if you had to break through your own lands in order to attack? You know, because like in Space Invaders, you got the little like shields, and you can shoot through them to like shoot.
I like that. That is good.
Yeah. Anything else?
No, that was it. That was the lightning round.
Excellent. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed those. We had a great time. I
That
hope
was a
you
lot
did
of fun.
too. And my challenge for you is to come up with an idea stupider than the stupidest in this episode. And please let us know which one was the stupidest in this episode. That's your challenge today. If you enjoyed this, if you want to work on one of these ideas, again, join Tabletop Aces, and we will see you guys next time.
Woo!